Alright, welcome back to class. How was your last assignment? Hope it wasn't too rigorous. You know, one thing I want you all to know is that as much as those assignments might look like they are very, very tough or they are complex to handle, it is preparing you for the real world out there, right? I don't know how you attended to the questions. For those of you that are able to see your assignment, very fine. I'll definitely go through it. I've not gone through it. I'll definitely go through it and see your standpoints, right? Also, very importantly, I want to call your attention to this. One of the essence of making those assignments come in that form is for you to know how to interpret questions the right way. Because when you come to a life settings, when you're on the job, on the field, literally, right, you will not be expected to be given instructions on what to do and you are going back and forth. Okay? You are expected to know what to do and be creative on how you're going to attend to it. Now, that doesn't take away the place of when you don't have enough clarity to the information you are given. You can definitely ask questions, but the type of question you ask should be very relevant ones, and that's why those questions comes in those forms, so it can stretch your mental capacity in that aspect. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So for those that could reach me, or that have been able to reach me to ask questions, I've been able to put you through, and there are some limits. There are limits where I'll tell you, figure that out yourself. And for those that have not been able to put through, one good way is to use AI, ChatGPT, Google, whatever. Just use it to guide you through. For those of you that have been doing that all along, kudos to you. And that's just one of the things I want to call your attention to, right? So today we are going to be going into another very important and interesting topic, which has to do with securities in Salesforce, right? So security systems. Okay. This particular topic is a very, very important one because it will most likely always come out in any interview you find yourself. Like, it's a very core part of Salesforce, even as an administrator, because after the whole design, the whole this has been done, then how your data is being secured matters to every organization, right? Yeah, so that's why this particular topic is very, very, very important. So please pay good attention and follow through, because it might look kind of tough, right? It might sound complex, it might look complex. Please and please just follow through. This is not a class you get to sleep. You just have to just pay close attention. If you miss any part, if you don't understand any part, just go back and just watch it all over again. It makes the whole process easy. If you're able to follow through the right way, you will not have a problem with this course and with this particular topic at all. Just patiently go through it. You see, I'm begging you now because I know what we're about to get into, right? So just patiently go through everything in detail. That's just it. If it seems confusing, go back and watch it. Just go back and watch it. I'll also try as much as possible to make emphasis and repeat myself where I need to, so that there is proper clarity. Alright? So I stated here that security systems will help you know who can own a record, how a record being owned, who can access the record, what are the security measures around the record, right? I'm sure we have actually mentioned bit and piece of all of these things from the very beginning of the class. There are times I'll say something and I'll be like, okay, don't stress for that. We're going to get to it in details. Sorry, I'm just being distracted. In previous classes, right? So definitely this is one of those times you get to touch on some of those things. All right, they all work hand in hand, right? So don't miss anything up. So without further ado, let's go into the agenda today. So today the things we are going to be covering includes role hierarchy, OWD defaults, types of sharing, and levels of security. So just those 4 things are what we are going to be looking at today. So let's start. So the first thing here is role hierarchy. So pardon me, I'm going to be doing a little bit of explaining, then we'll go into the org to demonstrate it. Alright? So now, role hierarchy. Role hierarchy. What I have here, it says role hierarchy is a way to organize users within organization to control access to data. It's similar to an organization chart. That's what I short as for organization chart, but focuses on data visibility and access levels. Don't be bogged by this big graph, and let's break it down sentence by sentence. Role hierarchy is a way to organize users within an organization to control access to data. In our contemporary organizations, right? We are working with the insurance system, right? So in a settings like that, you definitely know that there will be hierarchy, right? More like organogram, the structure, okay? The CEO to the something manager, to the set of managers, probably sales, marketing, production, and all. They are subsidiaries like that. It's called organogram in organizations, right? So here we call it role hierarchy. So now you definitely know that there are some data, there are some information that those on the lower cadre will not have access to, right? More like a pyramid. I should actually do some illustration here, but I don't know. So more like a pyramid. The people at the top most part might or should have access to everything everyone below has. But the next level might not have access to what the top has, and in some cases can, right? Same as the next level, the next level, the next level, right? So basically that's what role hierarchy is. Now, the next part of this explains that it is similar to organization chart, but focuses on data visibility and access levels. Majorly, we are on Salesforce, almost everything we do has to do with data, information, and all of that, right? So now, not everybody will have access to it. Remember all of these things from our permissions and permission sets class, right? So we are going to get there. Okay, so that is just a way to view role hierarchy. And so I'm going to go into my org now to show you what that is. Okay. So I'm just going to come here and check type rules. Okay. Can you see? I'm just going to set up rules. Now this is the rules. I'm going to collapse it by clicking this plus icon. I'm going to collapse like everything under that particular rule. Can you see? For this particular org now, we have the CEO. Under the CEO, we have all these sets of users or roles in the same level, in the same hierarchy level to the CEO. Below this CEO, you can decide to add another role if I want to. Now, this CFO now, if I collapse it further, it has another role you can add to it. CEO can add another one. Head of repair, you can add, I think we created this one, right? So you can collapse this one further. Okay, can you see? Under customer service and support, we have customer service international, customer service North America, blah 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 blah. All these ones are like next to this guy, right? If I collapse this further, Do we have any? Yes, good. We have this. If I collapse this further, we also have all of this. So definitely this is an hierarchy system with the CEO on the top level. All these other roles, they are like next. All of them now have subsidiaries. So let me now go further. If this customer support international can have, okay, it doesn't, but definitely you can decide to add. You can say you want to add role and call it marketing support. Marketing support. Hey, James, sorry. Marketing support. Right? Role name. This role reports to this person, and I click on save. Customer support international. So now, after creating this role, all I need to do is assign a user. So I'll click on assign a user. Let me just use this guy, right? You know, if it's a live settings, you have list of users, right? So that's why I can just click on all users. Okay, good. All users are giving me all users I have in here. For John, let's assume this rule belongs to Paul John or Peter Paul. So I click on add. I've moved in here, and I'm going to click on save, and that user has been added to the rule. Okay. So now I want to go back to the rules. Sorry. Let me go back to the rules. Okay, set up rules. So can you see now I've added this marketing support to the reporting to this guy. So basically that's what rule hierarchy is all about. Take note of all these things because I'm just going to be talking about it one by one. Eventually we are going to come to use everything all together. Okay, so the next thing we are going to go into now is called OWD default. OWD default. What I have there says that OWD default stands for organization-wide. OWD, sorry, stands for organization-wide default. This settings determines the default level of access that users have to records but do not own. Can you see? Default level users have to records they do not own. There are key points about OWD default. Right. So now what that simply means is OWD default is the simplest level of security you can have in the system. What I mean by that is the simplest level of access. Okay, like the baseline. Going forward, you understand what I mean. But let me just briefly mention that. We are going to come back to it. Now, when we talk about level of security, we have basically 3 levels of security. That is object level security, field level, and record level. You know what that means? You remember that from the beginning, when creating an object, the first thing you create is object, right? You call it the big container that houses information. Then the fields are used to collect data or parameters to make up a record. That is the details of a particular persons or of certain things, right? So now, object can have a security level system, field can have a security level system, record can have its own security level system. Now, having said that, let me go back to where I was before. Now, OWD default is like the baseline of the security systems. That is the least level of access every user would automatically, because that's why it's called default. You know what default means? Default means more like a follow com settings right? So OWD default is the baseline of access every user will have in the org, right? So, but now you can also set it to be either private or public. That's why we have this public read and write. This public read and write, you should remember also from one of our creating object fields and record, and also in permission set. There are some places we will talk about, okay, this person can click. We are still going to go into it. I'm going to show you. This person can click, this person can view alone. Remember CRUD now, CRUD or create. Create, read, edit, and delete, right? Okay, so now public read write. All users, the fact that it's public simply means that all users on the org can definitely have access to it, right? So there's read only and read and write. Read only, you can only view, you cannot edit, you cannot delete, you cannot transfer, you cannot do anything, you can only see the data, right? Some are public read and write, that is, you can read it and at the same time you can edit it. Delete is a different thing. It's like the God mode settings, right? I told you about that. It is not just assigned to just every user, right? Now, private, only record owners and users above them. Remember, users above them, that's when we talk about role hierarchy, can view, edit, and report on their record. Other users have no access unless explicitly granted. So there are some records that the OWD default is going to be set to private. That is, it can only be seen by the owner and the users above. Okay. So then we have this last one, controlled by parents. Controlled by parents. Remember that that's from when we talk about master detail relationship. That is parent and child, master and slave, right? So controlled by parents. So if an object OWD default is set to controlled by parent, that simply means that it's going to take its status from its master. I hope that makes sense. Master detailed relationship, whereby a particular object is related to another in a master and slave manner. Remember that, right? So now, OWD default, as we said, to be the baseline of access to data of every object. Now, when it is set to controlled by parent, it simply means that it's going to take its status or settings from its parent. That if the parent is set to public, it's going to be public. If it's set to private, it's going to be private. Now, you want to ask a question: what if it doesn't have a parent? Definitely, it will not even give you room to set to controlled by parent. So only objects that are master detailed would be able to have that access. I'm going to go to my org now to show you what that is. Okay. So to get there, I'm going to come here and search for sharing settings. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to see what I'm talking about. Can you see? You see, we have public read write transfer, public read write, public read write. Can you see all this one? So now I'm going to try to look at one of our custom objects. You know, a standard object, you really can't determine who and who can see it, right? So I'm going to click on edit right now. Can you see? Then I'm going to go to, we'll look for one of our custom objects. Let me try insurance. Where is it? Insurance. Okay, can you see? Insurance is on public read and write, which means everybody on the org can see this particular record and can also write. Okay? If we set it to read only, they will only be able to read it and not write. Now look at this. This states something. Sorry. This is default internal access, default external access. So you can set this and set this also. Access granted using hierarchies. Let me go down here. You see that all these standard ones, we can't really alter their settings. It is just there. Okay. So these are the custom objects we've created, and we can give it whatever we want. Okay, so all this one is best to put it on public read and write. That is for you, the administrators. But now this external access, now this one is on insurance, is on private. If I decide to put it on read only, public read only, everybody in the org to be able to see it, but read and not be able to edit. If I decide to remove this check, which means I am removing the grant using hierarchies. That is, in this state now, whoever is, if this is a particular object that works with certain group of people, it will not function based on hierarchy. It will obey whatever you have here. So if I remove this now, anybody ahead of the owner of this record would not definitely see it, because it's set to private. Only the owners will see it. But if I put it on public read only, even those that are superior will only be able to read only and not be able to edit. But if I put it on public read and write, they'll be able to read and write also. But instead of that, I'm going to just set it to private, but allow this guy. So once I check this guy, that simply means from the owner of the record upwards, they have access to this internal ability, right? Then all I do is just click save. Hope you are getting me. If you don't get it, please go over it again. It's not hard. Okay. Now, so the next thing I want us to look right here is types of sharing. The class is already getting long. Okay, we're almost through. Types of sharing. In Salesforce, there are several ways to share record and data. They are getting somewhere. Yeah? And just taking all those things, eventually will merge it up together. Just follow through. In Salesforce, there are several ways to share records and data, ensuring that the right user have the appropriate access. Here are the main types of sharing methods. Sharing rules, that is define exceptions to org-wide defaults for a specific group of users. They can be based on record ownership or criteria. We'll come to record ownership later. Okay? Record ownership, sorry. Okay, yeah, we'll come to record ownership later. Alright, so that's sharing rules. Another one is manual sharing. We are going to make use of this tool later, but I'll talk about it. I mean later in this class, so just come back. But I'll talk about it briefly now. So let's go back to our org now to see what sharing is. Go back to this sharing settings. We want to set sharing rules, that is defining exceptions to org-wide defaults for a specific group of users that can be based on ownership or criteria. Okay, let's deal with criteria. We'll come back to ownership later. Which one should I use? Which one should I use? Okay. Sorry, I want to check something. Where's my insurance? Alright, so let me come now to my insurance. Okay. Now, this is a place where you get to give conditions to whatever you want. So let me use opportunity for instance. I'm going to create a new rule. You know what we talk about is sharing rules, that is writing rules for it. So this new, let me call it opportunity above 100K. opportunity above 100k. Rule name. This is to share opportunity records that is worth above 100k. Alright, that is in revenue or price or whatever. Okay, so I'm going to set based on criteria, not based on record now. I'm going to click on based on criteria, and you see, and it's giving me room to set criteria for it. So I'm just going to look for something that looks like amount. Resource, blah blah blah. Tracking number, stage 6, quality. Okay, definitely we have to sort by something else. I thought they have something that has to do with amount. Let me check. Opportunities. Opportunities. You understand what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to sort the condition that has to do with amount, right? Okay, we have amount here. We have amount in opportunities. We have amount, right? We have amount. So let me go back here. Why is the amount not coming up? Let me see. Set record. Oh, okay. Let's just share with something else. Let's just sort with something else. Let's sort with something else. So I'm going to click on all opportunities to see what you can sort with. I see we have amount. I think. Oh, what's going on there? Is there a reason why this is not coming? Value of patience. Should we use value? Let's see. Total value. I doubt that I didn't see anything like that. Total value. No did. So let's just give it something. Let's say stage. Okay, let's use stage, right? Let's say once an opportunity passes a certain stage, you should share it, right? So I'll put equals to then what are the stages you have here? What are the stages you have here? Oh, Okay, we are proposing closed one. Okay, closed one. Let's say closed one. Closed one. Alright. So once the opportunity is closed, right, you should share it with either roles or public group. We'll get back to that, but let's use roles because we talk about roles. So let's select which role. Let's say share with marketing. Who should we share with? Let's just director of sales code, right? If I haven't done that, we can now read and write and click on save. That sharing, that rule has been established. Okay, so moving on. Let me see. What do I do for opportunity? It's on public read and write and private here. But now, director of sales will have a copy of all records that are closed one. If you try it on a edge, just play around, try to go and log in as that user, and you will see that you have access to those records. Okay, so having said that, manual sharing, from the word manual sharing, that simply means manually sending it to a certain set of people. Okay, so and how that is being done is by coming into the objects from your front end. Then you click on sharing. You click on the particular report you want to share. Then select user, public role, or whoever. Let's say user. Search user. So you can choose whichever user you want to send it to. Then you select what access you want to give the person: read only or read and write. So let's just say read only. You click on save, and the record will be shared already. Okay, so having said that, let's come into the last part of it, which is level of security. Okay. Now, we'll talk about level of security. I mentioned earlier we have to be. Let me go through our Salesforce has a robust security model to ensure data is protected and only accessible to the appropriate user. Here are the main levels of security in Salesforce: object level security, field level security, and record level security, as I've said earlier. So now, one way to handle object level security is using permission sets and permission set group. That's what we've talked about from the very beginning of our permission set and object set group in our classes. So let's go into it now, and we are going to see how that works. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my back end and come to profiles, permission set. Profile, permission set, permission set. Okay, so permission set, right? So permission set is one way to actually secure data on the object level. That is, you don't want certain set of users to see certain objects, or you don't want certain objects to be viewed by a certain set of users. That's what we talked about extensively during our function set class. So this is where it becomes relevant. Okay, I just don't want to confuse you then talk about it to be used for levels of security that and all that. So That's why I'm just bringing it up now. So I'm not going to come to. Sorry, let me come again. Permission sets. So these are the permission sets that has been created, and one of it, the one we create sometimes ago, is this head teacher access, head teacher master access, right? Remember those permissions. So let's assume we've created this permission set. I'm going to enter one of it now. Then the next thing is to assign it. That is, assign it to certain set of users. So if a fresh object is being created and it contains record that you don't want everybody in the org to view, all you need to do is put the org wide default to private, then create permission set for it. Then you now do what? Assign it to the few set of users you want to have access to it. I also come here to this object settings and click on object settings. And you see, to show you everything that you have in here you can definitely manage your assignments. Who and who you want to assign this particular permission set to, right? Here it's assigned to me as the system administrator, as we talked about. I can try to add assignments. I want to add more people or more users to it, right? So these are all the users on this org. But if there are more users you really want to add to this is how you're going to go about that. So that's how the security is being done on the object level. Same as permission set group. Now you can also use permission set group, that is groups of permission sets, assign it to certain users. With that, it covers everything inside the object, including the field and the record. So now, when you leave object level, the next level is what? Field level security. As stated here, field level security, that is, do you have access to the object, but you now want to restrict certain fields. Okay, you're not going to see this for your level or your role. You're not going to see this field. This field you can't see. This field you can't see. One good way to do that is by using fields and relationship and profile. I'm going to go to the two of them now, so you're going to see it. So I'm going to come to my, let me say, my objects. Let me use insurance. The guy I've been working with. It's not yet. Okay, insurance. Click on fields and relationships, and now these are the fields I have in here, right? So if I don't want certain set of people to have access to some of these fields, let's say this is insurance, right? So let's say we don't want some people to have access to what should we restrict? Payment plan. Let's just say payment plan. Okay. So I'm going to click on this payment plan, and you are going to see something interesting. Can you see? Set field level security. If I go ahead and click on it, to give me list out all. Can you see all the user kind of categories? So now I can, from here I can decide who and who I don't want to give access. Okay, system, can you see? Read only, visible. System administrator, I want him to have full access. Let's say I don't want all these people, all these ones, to have access to that particular field. I can just uncheck it. If I want them to just view it, I can just put this. Now this will give them visibility and read only. But if I not click on read only, it will give them visibility and they also have ability to edit it. All I need to do after doing all of that, I'll just go ahead and click on save. Field level security is done. Another way to do that is doing it through your profiles. Okay, that is done. So now another way to do that is through your profile. Profile. Okay. So yeah. I can come here to click on edit. Oh wait, sorry, I missed something. Sorry. So these are the various profiles. Okay, so I can easily click on this certain profile to edit them. Remember, we once created a profile for car repair. So let me just say, with this particular profile, you know what profile means, right? Profile user, users inside a particular profile. Do you remember that? Okay, so these are profiles, so I can just come here and click on edit these particular profiles and choose what I want them to see. Okay. Just more like your permission sets and permission sets group. Okay, can you see? Standard permissions, blah 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 account. Here you can just go around, check what and what you don't want them to see and what and what you want them to see. Okay. Custom app. In the next class, I'm going to be talking about custom app. It's a very, very interesting topic, and you're going to enjoy it. Okay. Administrative permissions. I just go ahead. Okay. I don't want to see this. I don't want to. Depending, everything still boils down to what criteria you are given. In the next assignment you'll be getting after the next class, you will see how this comes in handy and it will all come to make sense together. Okay. Then I use a permissions set, standard object, and all. Basically, that's how you can control field level security. Okay. So while the last one is record level security. Okay, so we've talked about OWD default, and it's also part of record level security. We've talked about OWD default. We said it's the baseline of access every user can have to certain records. Okay, baseline of security. So definitely we all know what user is. Next thing here is queue. What is queue? Now let me give you this instance. Let me give you this instance. Take for instance insurance that we've been working on, right? Let's say some leads or opportunities came in, and this set of leads are meant to be handled by automobile team for insurance. Okay, now this lead is going to be there, everybody can see it. Okay, but now there are certain things that should handle it. Queue simply means putting everybody in the same team in the same queue, so any one of them can easily come in to pick that record and change its ownership. That's where we talk about record ownership. It's not a big deal. I'm going to go in now to show you. So it's just like putting a set of users in the same thing. That's what it's called queue. That's other advantages that we're going to see going forward. And the last part is public group. It's similar to queue but a little different. Okay, I'm going to show you what the differences are. Very similar to queue and group, because now if you observe so far, when we talk of record sharing, when we want to share it, it brings out public group, user, rows, and so on. But it's not bringing out queue. The reason is because we've not set up any queue. So I'm going to do that now and see how that functions in sharing the record. Okay. So going to my org now, I'm going to search for queue. Okay, so I'm going to click on queue. Now I'm going to click on new queue. Let me call this automobile insurance. Automobile insurance. So new email. Now in a live org, this is something that's going to be done by IT. This kind of thing will have a kind of combined email that once you add the email, all of them will receive it. Okay, so I'm going to skip that. Okay, I'm just going to skip that. This class is already long enough. So now this is where queue is unique. You can use queue to select a particular kind of object you want the queue to work with. Okay, so for this instance, I'm going to go ahead to use our insurance. Here it is. Insurance. Okay, I'm going to click next here. So now, and I want to select the users or roles. Can you see public group roles, blah blah blah? But you don't have queue here. Queue is different. So I'm just going to click on users. Let's say I want to put this guy. I want to put this guy. Okay, I want to put this guy. Me. I want to put this guy here. Let's say I go to roles. I want to pick the. Do you have anything on insurance? No. So let's just say I want to put this guy here. I want to put this guy here. I've selected the people I want to be in that queue, right? I'm going to go ahead and click on save. Okay. Having done that, the next thing is to see how to change ownership. Okay. So let me go to my insurance record. So let me click on it by Samuel. Assuming this came in now, and I'm trying to see where to get that. Change owner. Good. So all I need to do is to come here. Can you see now we have queues here? Ideally we don't have queues, so I'm going to click on queues. Now search queue. The queue, we call this automobile. It does not load. The queue we created just now. Okay, let me refresh this. Because it should come. Remove backend good. So if you wanted to send notification, it will definitely do that. But since I not put a mail, so I'm just going to click on submit. So now the owner of this particular record has been changed to automobile insurance. So I can as well go ahead to just create a list view for that queue. So once any user in that queue comes in, they can easily check, oh, what are the records I have to attend to, opportunities or figures. So let me just go ahead to do that. So let's say I want to new list view. Let's say auto insurance. Okay, this only all users in this list. Okay, save. Then I'm going to add filter. So I want to filter by the owner. right? Policy will down this equals to no q no owner let me I think I work with some where's some centrifuge. Insurance name. This is difficult to actually get to. Let me use opportunities because I'm not sure we created something for that. Opportunities or lead. Yes. Okay, look at this one now. Opportunity owner. You can easily change the owner. Change owner. Good. Because the queue we set to, we did not give these key permissions to opportunities. So let me edit. That's why it's not working for opportunities. But our insurance will not create a owner for it. So let me just add opportunity here. The thing opportunity is not set to private, it will not come true. Opportunity is not here. We have lead. Okay, yes, we have lead. Let's use lead. So I'm going to go ahead and click on save. So let's go to our leads. Cancel this one. Let's say leads. I think this will be our longest class so far, but don't worry, I'm sure you put. Okay, so let me just click on these jet names. Details. So owner, I'm going to click on owner. Guys, now we have queues. There was no queue here before, but now we have queues. So search queues. So auto. It's still loading auto insurance. So change owner. Good. So the list view I was talking about, you can go ahead to create one for it. So let's say I want to create a new list view, auto insurance lead. Okay, save. Then I'm going to filter, add filter by record. Now where is what is it called? I didn't specify last activity. Last lead source. generally as soon as possible. And also recently with this guy, what I changed was lead owner. Why is lead owner not lead? Filter by owner. All leads. Q owned leads. Good. Global insurance. Sorry. Done. I'm going to remove this. I'm going to click on save. And you see what's going to happen with it. It's going to print only lead that are owned by that particular Q. While the other aspect of Q is public good. Public good. I'm just going to show you and give you the difference. Alright? Public goods. It's similar to Q, but now it doesn't help you specify which record or which object to which object. So at the long run, Q can actually be used for object level security also. Alright? So because when you create a queue, that is, you give certain users to certain set of objects, definitely with the content in it, right? So I'm going to click on new, and you have it to create search groups. If there's none, available member users. So let's say you want to select from certain users, blah blah blah. Add to dedicated admin groups. If you want to go ahead to do that, then click on save. So basically that just, don't confuse it up. It's a little different. You know that Q has opportunity to work on certain set of objects, while groups doesn't. Okay, I really want to bring this class to an end already. Most likely we are going to go further in the next class, right? Thank you. If you have any issues, anything you didn't get right, go over it again, right? So before you go, I'm going to leave you with this. Learning is hard, but at the same time learning is easy if only you put your mind to it. So just think about it, right?